Live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the epic engagement adventure. I am your host, RJ Redden, the one in the Cape, the one and the only. And today is a special treat. I am interviewing Lynn Whitbeck, who a master sales strategist, a fabulous human, and here to connect us with some really wonderful and valuable information. So, Lynn, tell us, who are you? Tell us everything.
I don't think there's enough time for that, but I will start by saying that business owners and entrepreneurs hire me to ignite winning sales teams because, most are chasing down clients. They're stuck in a chaotic sales cycle. I hate chaos, and they're lacking client retention, conversions, and profits. So I help transform the thinking to the client's perspective and end sales chaos with a robust strategic plan to harvest the hidden profits. So, bottom line, when you work with me, you're going to ignite your sales and unleash lasting profits. And I absolutely love what I do because I help the people that I work with create impact for their clients, for their own internal team members, and for their communities. Because when they've got a great product or service, it means they get it out to more people. They can hire and bring in more people, pay them better, give them better benefits. And when they're hiring more people, they're helping their community. And they're also getting that great product and service out there to a wider market. So it's my small ripple. It's my small way to help the world. And I feel very lucky that I get to do that.
Well, we're lucky to have you. I met you at the Profitable Networking. I can't remember the third word, but I met you there, and immediately I was like, I need to get to know this human. Lovely that you talk about, your interest is sales, that your expertise is in sales, because I think that a lot of people, especially folks that I tend to work with, a lot of coaches, we tend to be afraid of sales. The more heart you are, the less salesy you want to be. So, what got you into helping people with sales specifically? What drove you to do that?
So I want everyone to sort of flip the switch. Okay. Stop thinking of it as sleazy sales soup. And instead, let's take that moment and think about the client why and what they want, need, or lack, because you're helping them by guiding them to a decision. Because if you can truly serve them and help them with your product or service, you have a moral obligation to do that. Okay, so let's flip that switch about what you're doing. You are not selling them anything. You are guiding them to a decision to have impact in their business, in their career, in their life, in their communities, for their families, right? So that's when you start and you really shift your perspective and you think about what that client needs and how you're going to be able to serve them. So right there, what I've done is I flipped the switch because I approach sales with worthy intent. And that means that I truly want to help and serve others. I have a genuine curiosity about them. I want to understand what's going on. And how I help clients, of course, is focused on sales strategy, building that plan, that roadmap to get you there faster and more effectively, right? And so I personally like knowing where I'm going. I like having a roadmap. So I really want people to rethink sales from that perspective because we've all had experiences where someone is that partner, that mentor, that guide. And then we've had the experience with the used car sales lot, as a woman or way back when I was in my my mid 20s, and I'm looking at a car and I have the salesperson say to me, "Oh, are you aware of how much this car costs?" And here I am, an MBA, and I'm going like, "Do you know how much money I make?"
Yeah.
And that was my response to him. And then I went in and talked to the manager and I read him the riot act and told him I was never coming back to that dealership again in my life. And I said, "Do you realize that over 50% of your buyers are women? And the other 48% the men that come in, they're being influenced by the woman whispering in their ear. My husband, when he was alive, he never purchased a car without my giving him my approval. Okay.
Yes.
He would spend all the time kicking the tires and figuring it all out. And then he'd finally, oh, this is the one I want, and I
Yeah.
was like, and of course I was like, yeah, okay, fine, go for it. But, that's so funny, right? So I want everyone to rethink about sales.
I'm really interested in one of the sentences you said at first, that it's really about reframing the idea in terms of standing in those client shoes. Because so me as a human out there, I've been coaching for a number of years, been doing bots for a number of years. I've been in many sales situations. And what so many people want you to do is the opposite. They want you to adopt or adapt. Uh, these are the things to say. This is my number one sales formula that, blah, 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 blah. Oh, just, somebody says that, my eyes just roll in the back of my head. But what you're saying is flip the script and wear that other person's shoes. Can you go into that?
Yeah, absolutely. So a client why is that thinking like the client. And this applies to every aspect of the sales journey, from the initial spark to building rapport, to guiding them to a decision, to nurturing your client. So when you think about that, and that why, those 4 stages I just outlined, it changes during that process. So when you're helping them make a decision, they're at that stage, they've already validated who you are. They've already confirmed that you're credible and you're capable, you're competent, right? You're qualified. I just said that. So now their why is different.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, is this going to work for me? How much work is this going to be for me? I mean, there's a lot of different things. So, I mean, that goes into figuring out what that client why is. And I'm just going to spitball here, but those are 2 of the things that may be going through their head. And so time and money, and if it's going to work, those are things that are always going to be a question. And it's not just about you, it's about them. Is this going to work for me? Okay. And it's their decision. So if you're not thinking like the client, they are in the driver's seat, right? For you to guide them to make that decision. And I want to say something about those manipulative sales tactics. What they do is that I can guarantee you that that person is going to figure it out. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, 2 weeks from now, but they are going to figure out and feel that they were manipulated. Nobody likes that. And that is going to plant a bitter seed that it's going to be hard for you to recover from because you took advantage of them. And I know that there's people who do that. And what they do is they just burn through clients.
Yeah.
They have constant churn. Okay. And that is going to long term, it's going to impact their reputation. And people are going to start talking about it. And maybe it's whispers, even in virtual settings and virtual conference rooms. But people are going to start to know. And then the people who were in that program, they're not going to become referral or working with them or their product or service. They're not going to become referral resources. And there's nothing more than the kiss of death than having that reputation tarnished. And all it takes is somebody whispering, well, I don't know if I'd really work with that person, and all of a sudden you're going, whoa, RJ just said that. She is so on top of things and what she does. And she's such a straight shooter and so honest. Whoa, I'm not sure I'm going to want to work with these people. I'm going to need to do some more research. Something doesn't smell right. Okay. So just think about that. So that to me, and also it's gonna, how things come back to you in threes. If you don't treat people with compassion, dignity, and respect, it is going to come back on you. And it is a reflection of who you are. So, if you want to be that good, heartfelt, honest, straight shooter person, then you're going to approach it from that worthy intent.
Well, and that's such an I mean, I love talking with you about this because I feel the same way. Like I see so much manipulative sales out there, so much fear-based, so much fake urgency, so much just fake, just straight fake.
Yeah.
That it just turns my stomach. And a lot of my folks are, folks that are, know they can transform the world. But the only thing that's modeled out there is this bro marketing, manipulative, just this ball of, can I say crap on the air?
Yeah.
Crap, everybody. It's crap. That's what's modeled out there constantly. So even if, you kind of go into it thinking, there's got to be a better way, not finding anybody out there modeling a better way is tough for people. What would you say to somebody who, may have been looking for, obviously a better way to switch into to sales mode? What would you say?
Well, once again, I liked what you said early on. You are always selling. I mean, you're selling to your partner or your children as to what you're going to watch on Disney Plus or Netflix. I mean, come on. So, first of all, that's a given. And I want you to reframe that. You're guiding them to help make a decision. And there does come a time when that decision needs to be made. They need to decide, are they going to move forward and they're going to make a change for the better and make an investment in themselves or their business? Or are they going to stew about it some more? Right. I've also had a situation where clients have gone with a less expensive option.
Yep.
And then, I mean, I will be honest, I can say that, 6 months later, they come back and they're going like, well, would you be willing to work with us now? Because I know we went the other way. And it's like, well, of course, sometimes you got to try to see if the grass is greener, thinking you're going to save a buck. But, let's get real. What did you really save a buck, or did you just waste 6 months and whatever money you spent? Because that's what really happens, right? And sometimes letting them discover that on their own is your best option. And there's no shame in letting them do that. It's not like you have to win every time, because you're winning because you've maintained your own integrity. So I think when you're asking me that question is, how do you shift that gear? You are never shifting that gear, but you do start to look for the buying signals and where they're at. And I've always preferred soft closes. And so now there are times that, so I run my program is cyclical, essentially every 12 weeks, and people get into the program. And at the end of 12 weeks, because we get stuff done, you have your whole sales strategy built. But so there is that little bit of urgency, but heck, 12 weeks later, you can jump in then, so it's not like this is never coming back, So, but you really want to be able to create that way that they can have, are you ready so me, it's like, are you ready to get started next Monday, or do you want to wait for 12 weeks?
Yeah.
And the thing is if you wait for the 12 weeks, I want you to sort of picture that you have two different places. You can either be starting or you could be finished. And sometimes timing is everything. And this may not be the right time for you. And I get that. But I want you to sort of take a look at where you're at and where you want to be in 12 weeks, right? And so that's not manipulative. I am telling them the truth, and I'm helping them visualize that choice and helping them, and letting them make the choice, because it's still going to be there in 12 weeks.
Yeah.
So there's soft closes are my preferred method of closing. I always have used them. And I don't really even know why people call them soft, because what you are is it really is allowing the client to be the driver and have the power, because they do. And when you trick yourself into a hard close and thinking that you've got control, all you've done is just you've literally poisoned your own well.
you have like, and I don't think that people understand that, particularly, when a lot of people out there doing launches and events and everything like that. Yeah, it's good to know how you did. And it's good to have a goal too. But it's also good to have a thriving group of people who are ready and willing to dive into what you're doing, rather than just a whole bunch of people, as many as you could possibly get, because refunds happen, because people, yeah, they feel tricked, and then you got the whispers going on. I really like your soft close. I think I'm going to call it closing with your arms wide open.
Yeah, or a closing with your heart. I don't
Yeah.
know. That's yeah, we can come up with a new phrase. Some of these phrases that just like they call soft skills, I call them power skills because if you can't work with different styles, if you can't be a problem solver, OMG. I can say that on the air. I mean, come on. I mean, you have to be able to have these are skills that will transform your life, not
Yeah.
just your work and your career or your business, but your life. So they are not soft skills, they are power skills, right? And so why do they call it soft closes? Anyway, I'm gonna get off the soapbox. I'll
It's
step
okay.
down. I'll step down.
It's all right. Tide is okay in this podcast. I often stand on the soapbox as well when it comes to, what sales is projected as out there in the world. People thinking that they need to all of a sudden become aggressive in order to make a sale, because we're taught that aggressive people are going to come out on top, and early bird gets the worm, and pull yourself up by your bootstraps, and in all other ways, man up, so you can do this, when it's really the opposite that is true. Don't become less like yourself, become more like yourself, because when you allow the client to have options and power, that's when their transformation starts. They might not be paying you yet, but their transformation has already started and they're on their way. And it's okay. Gosh, I could probably talk to you for hours, Lynn, just
I,
about all this.
yeah, and more.
Yeah, no, I'm so excited because I know where you're at, and we're definitely gonna have you for the Skyrocket Your Sales Challenge happening this summer. We'll definitely have you as a guest speaker, because
Okay.
it is all about changing that framework that you're
Yeah.
offering. It is all about changing your perspective, because I can tell you this. I I I learned about everything I know about sales from a lady
Yes.
Lynn, and most of you out there, Jane Powers. If you don't, that's fine. We'll have her on, and that'll be great. But I learned everything that I know, and none of it involved becoming a different person, putting on a mask, using the 6 best strategies that are, sweeping the earth right now. When I was first in business, I started my business laptop on the couch, baby. That's how we do it. And that's what I was looking for. That's what I was Googling. What are the best sales strategies? Okay, well, maybe I'll try a few of these. And most of them did not fit me at all.
Yeah.
And I didn't make a whole lot of sales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is
Um,
a really surprising because, I've been exposed to a lot of different sales programs over the years, and I have never. I mean, I think that because my program, we start with client thinking because it is absolutely foundational all the way through the sales process. Um, it's so often that these sales programs don't start there. It's always okay, do a SWOT, figure out what the pain points are. Well, you're thinking of them from your perspective. And when you do those exercises, I recently had this sort of thing where I was doing that exercise and I went, wait a minute, I'm doing this from my perspective. I haven't transformed and shifted my paradigm so that I'm looking at it, I'm the client. And I'm not saying that it's easy, but there's a whole process to do that. But when you do, and you can see things from their perspective, I mean, you know this, RJ, there's going to be more connection. There's going to be more resonance because you're meeting them where they're at. And then you also can determine if there is a fit much faster. Because if there isn't a fit, you're not going to do them a disservice. You're going to point them in a direction that is going to be better for them.
Yeah.
And also better for you.
Win all around. I mean,
Yes.
and that's, if somebody gets on a phone call with me, it's either going to, lead to a decision. Well, it's going to lead to a decision on my part first. Do I think this person is ready, willing, and able? And if the answer is no, then I have so many friends who some of them teach the same darn thing I do. They just do it differently.
Yeah.
And there's so many people. There's plenty for all of us, and what goes around comes around.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, first decision is mine. Are they ready, willing, and able? Do I think they'd be great candidate for something? And then, and then I try to guide them to their decision, but it's always mine first. And that's what I think a lot of people miss too, because they think that everybody who sits across from them, they have to try to land.
No. I mean, every potential prospect, I have a rule that there should be 5 questions that they have to answer heck yes to. And I mean, heck yes. And if they can't answer heck yes to, then they are not a good fit. Yeah. All right. And then the whole thing is going to be a struggle. And it's like dating the wrong person.
Mm-hmm.
You can date that guy or that gal, and it's just never going to work out, so cut your losses early. What are those heck yeses? Figure it out, know what they are, and then have a way to in the first conversation. I actually even use Calendly for when people book an appointment, so I can help screen for that.
Good job.
Yeah. So, I mean, because there's a couple things that they can't answer heck yes to, then it's like, okay, if they are not interested in relationship sales, human to human selling, I'm not the right person. Please, just go onto my website. Lots of free resources, but I'm not the right person to work with, because that's all about what I am, is human to human relationship selling. So, if they can't answer a 9 or a 10 on that, then it's great to have a conversation and to meet another human being and see if I can help them for a few minutes, but I need to send them somewhere else.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It takes, and this method does take a fair amount of know thyself.
Yes.
And know thy client. I mean, I'm in the same boat. When people care more about clicks than they do about clients, I gotta send them to somewhere else. When people don't value each relationship individually, when it's all about how many sales can I get in the door, it's not going to be a fit, because they're never going to value what I do.
Yeah.
And my stuff is all on that building relationship side, because it doesn't end. It doesn't end when they buy a class.
No, it doesn't end after they've gone through your program. That relationship, when you truly honor that relationship, they can become your champions. They become your friends. They become referral resources in the sense of champions. And that word of mouth is absolutely the number one driver for profit for you. It's absolutely critical. And that friendship, I have lifelong friends that I made back in my 20s that I sold to, that I could still, connect with them, on LinkedIn and say, hey, how the heck are you doing? And they'd be glad to hear from me. Right. And so that's the power of that. And it also creates a network for you to go out to, like, gosh, I have this sort of problem. Who do I know who might be able to have a quick answer for me?
Yeah.
And you can literally grab the iPhone, use it for, as a phone and
What?
call somebody. Yeah.
We can do that? What are we
Yeah,
talking
we
about?
can. You can, either that or it's Dick Tracy on my watch, right?
It's true though, like without the people in my corner, and I'm talking about clients, coaches, friends in business. Without the people in my corner, I would never have survived the pandemic. My business, you know what I mean? Just for I would have died of loneliness and being scared and not knowing what to do, how to change with what's going on. I would not have. I mean, that was scary times, and I know a lot of people went through that as well.
Yeah. No, I
Um,
mean, it was definitely for me, it was that great resignation that occurred during that time period. And well, it's still happening. So many of the people that were really great referral resources who were working in different organizations, like SBA or other things doing mentoring, and they would talk to somebody, I know who you need to work with, you know. um, yeah, they're playing with their grandkids now. And I'm
yeah.
going like, okay, wait a minute. I gotta learn new tricks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's absolutely how it went. Well, and let me drive back around to engagement. So what's the most engaging thing you've ever done, either to get clients to or to serve your clients? What's the most engaging thing you've ever done?
Uh, oh, well, I think the craziest situation I ever had was at a big conference, and I was not one of the speakers, but I was doing a lot of different things there, and they ended up having this gap, and the person running the conference came to me and she said, "Lynn, I need you to get up on stage and talk for 15 minutes." And I was just like, and this is literally, and I had like 20 minutes notice, and it was like deer in the headlights. Actually, I didn't even have that. I had 10 minutes. I had 10 minutes and I had to get up and speak for 15 minutes. And and I sort of was like, and then I went, okay. So I always think there's fear, flight, freeze, or finesse. So I chose finesse, and I went, okay, I got 5 minutes here to come up with something I'm going to say. And I said, okay. And it was near the end of the event. So what have we learned over these last 3 days? And what are some of the sessions? What are some of my takeaways? And I just started taking notes. Right. And then I got up on the stage and I said, okay, by the way, I just got notice that I was going to be up here 10 minutes ago. So bear with me, So, everybody laughs, and I said, okay, so I got some notes. I scribbled them on a napkin. And I want to sort of revisit sort of what we've gained from this incredible event over the last 3 days, So then I sort of hit some of the highlights for me. And it went great, right? But that's the thing. What was great about that engagement was that I got the audience connected with me right away. I was just straight with them. Oh my gosh, I just found out about this, so bear with me, right? And I just felt that they were right there with me, really engaged. It was like everybody got this boost of energy. I did as well. And one of the things that I always love doing is I will do guest talks for their own clients. So like you would bring me in for a private client, presentation. And so I'll do 30 minutes on a topic. I actually did one this morning on ghosting. And then I have 30 minutes for Q&A. And I love the Q&A because then I can actually help people right there in the moment, answer those questions. And it's a great way to get that energy from people, that reciprocal energy, and to help people in that moment. And I get connections as well because people are able to get a taste. It's like a sip of coffee. And it's for me, those are really phenomenal engagements. I also love being a guest on podcasts. I am speaking directly into someone's ears, and they can tell right away if this is somebody that they might want to learn more about. And because they can sense my personality, I'm pretty bubbly, I'm positive, I've got a smile and a laugh in my voice. And there are some people who don't like working with cheerful people. So,
Truth. That is the truth.
You're not a good fit, right? But other people want that kind of energy and positivity to be around that. So guest podcasting, even with the host like you were having this great conversation and this energy and synergy. Let's get more energies, I don't know. And it's a lot of fun. And I get such a high off of that. And so those are engagements that also I find just really phenomenal. Thank you, by the way, RJ.
Oh, hey, anytime. We're having a good old time over here. And hey, by the way, if anybody is looking to hang out with Lynn, I'm about to throw something in the comments. Do you want to talk about this link that I'm about to put out there?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I just mentioned guest podcasting. And for those of you who have not, are either actively guest podcasting or just dabbled or never done it at all, I have a free masterclass on how to leverage guest podcasting to grow your business. That's like 20 minutes total to watch the videos. There's 4 videos, but we provide a roadmap for before and after. Because if you don't do the after, then why did you even do the before? Because you just missed out on all the benefits of it. And guest podcasting is this tremendous asset because it creates really powerful SEO. Podcasts live forever unless a host actually takes the show down. They are incredible for your authority and leadership. They let you speak to someone directly in their ear about what you do or how you help the world, what impact you have, and what problems you can solve. And they become a very valuable sales asset. So when you are on that sales journey with a prospect and you're doing your follow-up, you're busting the ghost, you can use a guest podcast as something that you can send to them to tune into. And then, of course, tell them why it matters to them so that they'll take advantage of that and move on to the next stage of the sales.
Beautiful. That is a resource that I'll be taking advantage of. Because I do a lot of guesting and honestly, yeah, just to have it really simply stated, these are the steps that you need to complete. That is a wonderful thing. There's also a couple people I need to introduce you to too, so we'll chat afterwards. But I do want to. It's 4:33. I know you have now gabbed half an hour away with me, and I want to thank you for coming on because we need more of you, Lynn. We need more people who are willing to stand up for the fact that you do not have to be pushy, aggressive, salesy to be to be what you want to be, to do what you want to do, to transform the lives you want to transform. You do not have to become another person to make the sale. And in fact, the more you are, the better. And I just want to thank you for your perspective. Any last words of wisdom?
Abandon the sleaze and embrace your genuine, authentic self.
Yes. Abandon the sleaze. I just want to stitch it into a sampler and hang it on the wall. I don't know how to stitch things, but if I did, I would do it.
You can create a powerful graphic. I know you.
Yes, I can. Yeah, excellente. Well, so folks, get a hold of Lynn, connect with her, go and hit up that link. I'm going to be doing this afterwards. And yeah, gosh, great stuff. For those of you out there who think that nice people always finish last, I'm here to call BS on that for you. And I'm here to tell you that there are ways to be yourself, and to do that close with open arms. You can do this. So connect with Lynn. Connect with me if you want. I mean, my door is always open. And with that, Lynn, if you'll stay on a bit, I'm gonna end the broadcast. So everybody out there, next week, same bot time, same bot channel. We're gonna be right here at 4 o'clock Central. wherever you're watching me now, you can tune into right then too. We'll have more amazing guests. We'll talk about more amazing engagement possibilities for you. And from a now until then, you know, the what if the sleaze abandon the sleaze? That's Lynn's. All right, everybody. We'll talk to you later.